the ones who came for you, and the one who walked away. They watched her. They always watched her. Some did it with admiration, others did it with envy, but a few watched her with something darker, something that made their blood boil at the mere thought of her success. Isla Munro never asked for enemies. She simply lived. She thrived. She built herself from the ground up, dodging every setback, pushing through every betrayal. And now, she stood unbothered, untouchable. But her enemies, they weren't done. The hunters in the dark. It started as whispers. Then, the whispers became shadows. Late-night calls from unknown numbers. Glimpses of movement in places there should have been none. Then, the real attacks came, her accounts hacked, her name dragged through mud she never stepped in. Isla was surrounded by ghosts of those who wanted to see her fall. The worst part, they were people she once called friends. Among them was Vera Holloway, the one who always smiled too much, whose praise always sounded like a warning. Vera had spent years secretly resenting Isla, hiding behind compliments while sharpening knives. Isla's rise was everything Vera could never achieve, and that reality shattered her. And so, Vera plotted. She wasn't alone. A handful of others gathered in her shadow, bitter souls feeding off the same resentment. They whispered in dark corners, weaving lies, bending truths, setting traps. Their goal was simple: ruin Isla, break her, turn her success to dust beneath their feet. But what happens when you wage war against the untouchable? The betrayal unfolds. The attack came swiftly. An anonymous scandal, a web of lies so intricate it felt like truth. A story spun so well that even Isla began to wonder if she was the villain in someone else's nightmare. Her accounts were frozen. Her name was dragged through courtrooms. They wanted her bankrupt. They wanted her reputation burned. They wanted to see her fall and beg. And then they waited. For the first time, Isla didn't respond. No screaming, no counterattacks, just silence. And that silence terrified them. The fall of the pretenders. They thought they won. They drank to it, laughed about it. Until, one by one, they began to fall. The first one was Leo Kessler. He had been the loudest in Isla's destruction, grinning as he helped manufacture the scandal. But then, his own secrets unraveled. The very industry he tried to blacken Isla's name in turned on him instead. Contracts revoked, investors pulling out. A lawsuit so damaging he was left in financial ruin. Next was Mila Graves. She had always been a social climber, using Isla's name like a stepping stone, only to help push her off the ledge when Vera asked. But Karma had other plans. A scandal of her own broke out, exposing the very tactics she'd used against Isla. No one wanted to touch her now. And Vera suffered. All her carefully crafted power plays, her years of fake alliances, her obsession with destroying Isla, it all came crashing down in one brutal moment of public exposure. Someone leaked her messages, her plans, her confessions. She had orchestrated it all. And the world turned on her. The woman who walked away. The dust settled. And where was Isla? Standing, watching, unbothered. She had done nothing but exist. She hadn't fought them. She hadn't defended herself. She let them drown in the very waters they tried to pull her into. She walked past Vera one day, saw the hollow look in her once scheming eyes. Saw the way her hands trembled, the way her lips parted, as if searching for words she no longer had. Isla didn't stop, didn't gloat, didn't revel in the downfall of those who tried to destroy her. She simply walked away. Some battles don't require fighting. Some victories come simply by surviving. And Isla Munro, she was undefeated.